Hey everybody, Bill Flipper here, and it's a beautiful Tuesday in Pennsylvania. I'm going to be going outside later, playing some football, playing some soccer, doing all that kinds of stuff. My son gets out of school soon, but I want to do a quick thing. So we got Bitcoin, we got gold, and we got the Qs all-time high. I'm sure a bunch of other things too. But one of the things I do and I recommend is the very first thing. So let's say you're already an entrepreneur or you're doing a successful job. First, you want to build your savings. So I'm not sure, but you want to have a set amount. Maybe that's a month, maybe that's 2 months, maybe you want to go as high as 6 months. Now that seems a little high for me. Like I don't need 6 months of savings. I can figure it out before then. But let's say 2 months. So you have your savings, and then next you would, if you're working a job or if you're working self-employed, you're going to have to set up some investments. Now there's multiple channels to go, but when you're at my status where I can't really buy real estate, mine is the American stock market, and those are usually low fee index funds. Unless you're probably already a broker, it's going to be by all in all, trying to pick individual stocks is very, very hard. And usually you're not, unless also to stock trade is much different than invest. So let's say you really enjoy a certain product, or you believe Exxon's going to do great in the next couple of years. If you plan to purchase this and hold it for 25 years, you're probably going to do pretty well. But also if you plan, all you have to do is, so there's a SPY or a VOO, they're charts. So these are broad-based S&P 500 index funds with low fees. If you look at them and you compare them to almost any other than a top few performing, you basically do just as well in the S&P 500. And there's lots of things out there. I think one's the butterfly portfolio. There's all weather, where you can look at your risk assessment. And generally what people do is when they invest in the stock market, they also invest in like bond portfolios and like maybe a real estate. It's like a real estate proxy. Those types of things. And you can talk to, you can have a professional person do it, or you can probably do it yourself with a little bit of understanding. If you're young, my age, or middle age, you're going to go heavier into stocks because they're going to build it up much more than the bonds. And then when you get really old and you're ready to retire, or you're getting ready to retire, you would lower your risk, your risk taking. So, but like I said, my whole thing is I try to target things that cannot be printed. So instead of dollars, whether that is gold, whether that is, like I said, high quality American companies, or Bitcoin, all those types of things. You want to buy something that cannot be printed. And again, this is, you would have to check it yourself. But you do those things, so you gotta be an investor. And like I said, the best thing about that is you put it away, you don't touch it. I have a huge portion of my portfolio I've never sold a dime of. I never will until I retire. And there's a couple great books. Like I said, I don't try to time the market. I'll trade a tiny, tiny bit here and there. Like if I bought something and it's run up just so aggressively, like it's foolish not to take it. And one thing also, you can go into Money Master of the Game. It's Tony Robbins. What they do is, like, if you have 5 things, like you have gold, you have bonds, you have stocks, and let's say they're all equally based 20%. When one goes up to like 30%, what they usually do is then they pair that off and they make it back to 20%. They do this like once a year, once every 18 months. So, but like I said, I realize I can't time it. I want to take my money I'm making from Amazon. I don't want to do something with it and put it away. I'm sure Amazon's not going to last forever. And hopefully at one point I either have enough to buy a home or I have enough to invest in real estate. But I really think, especially young, if you can do this young, like that's one thing people may not understand about compounding. Like you can put in double at 40 and get the same returns as someone who put in like half as much at 20, because it keeps compounding. And you don't get it's one of those, I forget the math, but you can look it up. If you bet like $1 on every golf course and it doubles each golf course, it's into like thousands and thousands of dollars by hole 18, because the last few holes, it goes from 2 to 4 to 1 to 2 to 4, but then by the end, if it gets to like 100, then it's turning to 200, then 400. The last couple really compound. That's the same with investing. The last few years, really, really compounding it as they add, because in theory, it should compound about 8 or 9% a year. So that's all. Like I said, my advice is figure out a way, figure out a budget. I try to be extremely budgeted. I am very happy to not live in any ostentatious or anything lifestyle. I certainly couldn't afford that anyway, but not to do that, and it's really paid for me over in time. Like when I went out in 2020, I was purchasing a car, and I could have afforded a much better car. And I was like, no, I need to keep it under this. I need to keep it under this. And lo and behold, I know so many people who went for like almost $1,000 car payments, and they ended up losing that car because they went too high. And I was very, very, stuck in my ways. I'm not going to go for something I don't think I could afford. And like I said, when things started slowing down or did slow down, I was able to keep my car because I had chosen a much, much lower payment. So that's all I have for today. I hope you learned something. And if you have any comments on that or how you would invest, and again, there's lots of different ways you could do it with collectibles. I like stocks, especially dividend payers, because they pay you something and you can reinvest those. So that's all I have. Have a great day. See ya.